guys? It's Coach D back with a sports review, and you already know we about to review these annoying Clippers. These dudes just don't got it. They are so annoying. Today we lost to the Bucks, and coming into this game, we were already coming off of a back-to-back. We just had a gritty game against the Timberwolves, which we won, and so this is a back-to-back the next day. But Giannis ends up being a late scratch. He has an Achilles injury, so he didn't end up playing. Middleton's already not playing, so you're basically going against the Bucks with just Dame as far as star power goes. So with a fully healthy Clipper team, this definitely, without Russell Westbrook, this game definitely was a winnable game. We should have won this game, and somehow we managed to figure out a way to lose. The reasons we lost this game, number one, is the coaching. Ty Lue got out-coached by his mentor. That ain't a good mentor to have, in Doc Rivers. That's a big part of the reason why we lost this game. Doc definitely out-coached him this game. Effort from the team defensively. And offensively too. We're not giving our 100% best to beat this team. And size on our bench unit. And that's something that we've said every single loss that we've had all season. Size with that bench unit, right? If you watch any of my previous videos, when their stars, other team stars, go against our bench unit, it's always a bad time. And so we'll get into that in a minute. But first, let's start off with the coaching. Ty Lue has been running some weird rotations since Russell Westbrook has gotten hurt. I don't like these Bones Highland, Paul George bench rotation minutes. I'm not a big fan of that at all. And we've just been running weird rotations to me. I just don't think to me personally, unless it's Kawhi, there should not be one star on the floor. And I'm not even a huge fan of really just having Kawhi just run the show type of thing by himself. I feel like when you have 3 stars, you can figure out a way to stagger, most of all of their minutes. That way you have 2 stars on the floor and you're really able to dominate other teams that just can't put 2 stars on the floor. But a team can put 1 star on the floor while you have another one, So we had Kawhi only minutes today. We had Paul George only minutes today. And I just don't understand that. I don't think that helps the cause at all. But the biggest thing was in the fourth quarter to end the game, Ty Lue decided to go small ball with a lineup of James Harden, Norman Powell, Amir Coffey, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard at the 5. Now, the only reason that you should ever go small, and that the Clippers usually go small, is because defensively, it allows you to switch everything. When Zubac is struggling with pick and roll, where, another team has a dynamic guard that's using their center to screen our point of attack defender, and then he's able to get an advantage or an open shot off of that. When that's killing us, you can go small, say, okay, we're going to put a bunch of defenders on the floor, no center. That way, if any screen comes, you can just switch and go one-on-one. We're going one-on-one straight up across the board, and we'll live with the results. But Ty Lue decided to go small with Amir Coffey and Norman Powell in the game. Amir Coffey and Norman Powell are not good point of attack defenders. They're not good defenders especially against elite guards on our team. Amir Coffey comes off the bench, and one of the reasons our bench unit is a bad defensive unit, which usually has Kawhi helping them, is part of that is Amir, part of that is Norman, because even though they can, Amir for a good stretch of the season was doing amazing things from 3. He is a lengthy defender. And Norm has obviously just been one of the best 3-point shooters in the league this year. But defensively, they really can struggle. So when you go 5 with them instead of somebody like Terrence Mann, you're really risking defensively, them getting switched onto. And that's what Damian Lillard was doing down the stretch. He was looking to switch onto Amir Coffey, and he ended up hitting this step back 3 in Amir's face. And Ty Lue, from the rest of the time, and even a little bit before that, he was double teaming Damian Lillard. And if you know anything about Milwaukee, from Lopez to Bobby Portis to whoever, they ain't even going to give you a contract if you can't hit a 3 unless you're Giannis's brother, right? So everybody's spaced out. So if you double team Dame, especially double teaming him, 30 feet, he's going to be able to make a pass, and then it's swing, and you're going to have to rotate to be able to make up for you double teaming. Somebody's going to be wide open. So they're swinging it to that man and they're shooting those threes and they're making them at the end of the game. So it's like, if you were going to go small, you have to put your best defenders out on the floor. Maybe one, you could say, okay, maybe Norm, because he is a terrific shooter, right? But Amir isn't a terrific shooter. Amir was 0 for 2 from 3 this game. Amir was having wide open shots and not taking them from 3 this game. Amir had a wide open shot at the end of the game and he missed it, where they left him wide open. He got the, opportunity and he missed it. So if he's in the game for that, and he's missing and he hasn't been hitting all night, and then defensively he's really not that great of a point of attack defender, then why should he be in the game during small ball? Terrence Mann should have definitely been in the game. And I ended up in an argument with some people in a Twitter space talking about Terrence Mann was getting cooked all night, and that's why he didn't end up playing. I went back and looked. Unless a screen was involved, Damian Lillard scored on Terrence Mann. He got fouled by him one time, and he went to the free throw line and made both of his free throws. Every other time, Damian Lillard is calling for a screen to get off of, for Terrence Mann to get off of him, right? So then when that screen comes and he comes around the screen, Terrence is now chasing Damian Lillard, right? And if he's chasing him, now that puts him at a disadvantage. He's either, he got one foul from behind in that. He got a few threes and middies because Zubac and drop coverage, right? And Dame, he's one of the best at it. He comes around that screen. If there's nobody there, that's a 3, right? Or I'm driving, I'm getting to that mid-range pull. So you have to, help from weak side. You have to, either trap on that pick and roll. You cannot just let him come around that screen and just be able to shoot the ball. And Terrence, for his credit, he was hustling. He was trying to get over, but it's Damian Lillard. He's one of those guys you just can't give any space or any breathing room to. But in this specific situation, notice what I said. We went small. So now there is no more screen. If Damian Lillard calls for a screen to switch to get Terrence off of him, he's switching on to Kawhi Leonard. He's switching on to Paul George, right? He's switching on to a defender. He's switching on to James Harden, who you would say, okay, well, we'll kind of live with that. We'll kind of squeeze the paint, kind of help off everybody else, and we'll live with that. But to put Amir Coffey out there, he was killing Amir Coffey. And because he was killing Amir Coffey, he started double teaming Damian Lillard, and that just goes into what I said. And so that cooked us on the offensive end. I thought that was very poor from Ty Lue, very poor decision. You don't double team on a star when he has nothing but shooters around him. There's nobody to cheat off of. Like, that was a horrible decision. And then offensively, Doc Rivers started running a 2-3 defense, and Kawhi and Harden, they were not able to figure out how to effectively punish that 2-3 defense. They just couldn't figure it out. Kawhi was forcing things. They were making good rotations. There was never a timeout. Ty Lue's like, okay, we're going to figure out how to attack this 2-3 defense that they're running against us. And for me personally, if you had Tice in the game, you could run that pick and roll with James Harden, and I think would probably destroy that 2-3 defense, but you decided to go small with Amir Coffey. And a lot of the times, if you go back and look on those possessions, Lopez is cheating off of Amir Coffey. They're helping, in that 2-3, because whenever Kawhi starts to drive or whatever, they're going to cheat and leave Amir open, and Amir's going to either turn down the 3 if he gets it, or if he shoots it, he missed the one time that he did. And so, Amir probably a month ago was shooting amazing from 3, but just recently he just hasn't had the confidence. He has not been hitting. He was 0 for 2 for tonight. So you say, for me personally, having Terrence Mann, who has been shooting amazing from 3, or shooting well, especially this past month of basketball, and what he does on the defensive end, he's our best point of attack defender. He should have been in the game. And if you're not going to have Terrence in the game because you say Amir's a better point of attack defender and he's a better 3-point shooter, then Terrence Mann shouldn't start anymore. Amir should start, right? If he's a better point of attack defender, but he's not. And if Amir's not hitting 3s, then what's the difference between having him and Terrence in there? So I thought that coaching, that was awful from Ty Lue, and that really cooked the game. And another part of it too was just effort. These dudes did not want this, Damian Lillard played the entire second half today. The entire second half. Pat Bev started. You know, they wanted this game. They wanted to win this game. This game meant more to them than it did the Clippers. The Clippers just didn't have that energy and effort. And it is a back-to-back, and they are old. But, you know, it just allowed another team to come in there and steal the game from you because they just wanted it more. And, you know, when the Clippers, they're a frustrating team because on the games where you could tell that they won it, like the Denver's Nuggets game, like the Pelicans game, not the last one, but the one before that when they were beating us all over again. And then we went into their house and we beat them by 30. You can tell in those games, the intensity that we come with is just different. We want to win the game. We're executing at a high level. Everybody's locked in. This Minnesota game that we just played, everybody's locked in. We're not turning over the ball with stupid turnovers. We're playing amazing defense, rotating. We're doing all the things that you need to win the game. We want it. And tonight, we just did not want it. And the other thing that really cooked the game was the size on this bench unit. This has been something that I talk about every single time, but it's starting to get on my nerves, right? Because the Clippers do not have a power forward. In the James Harden trade, they traded Nicholas Batum and Robert Covington. We have no 4 off of the bench. And you say, oh, okay, well, you have James Harden, so okay, well, if James Harden and Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are going to shoot amazing and just go crazy, then yeah, it probably doesn't matter. But in games where Kawhi is not shooting as well, or Paul George isn't shooting as well, and you need that bench unit to play defense, you're gonna struggle. You're gonna lose. And Bobby Portis tonight had 28 points and 16 rebounds on 66% from the floor. 28 points and 16 rebounds on 66% from the floor, from 2 and from 3. If that is happening to you, you have serious problems. Bobby Portis looks like a max contract player against you. You have a problem. And it's because on that bench unit that features Norman Powell and Paul George and Bones Highland and Amir Coffey and Daniel Tice, tell me who is the 4? Who is going to guard Bobby Portis? Your best hope is Paul George, and Paul George was too small to guard him. Bobby Portis is a very physical, tall 4, and he was bodying Paul George. So now what do you have to do? You have to start double teaming Bobby Portis. And you start double teaming Bobby Portis, guess what's going to happen to you? Bobby Portis is going to make a pass to somebody that's wide open that can shoot from 3. And guess what the Bucks closed with? Bobby Portis and Dame on the floor. So now when you can't guard Dame, right? So Ty Lue said, okay, well, we'll put Kawhi on Dame. Who's going to guard Bobby under the basket? Bobby Portis is getting post up, shooting it over Amir Coffey to help close the game. You have no backup 4, and Bobby Portis doing that, it just shows you. And then you have Damian Lillard playing the whole second half going against a unit, right, that can't defend him. He was scoring on Paul George tonight. He was scoring on Kawhi tonight. He was scoring on everybody. He scored on Terrence a few times, but like I said, using those screens. But regardless, you're doing that, and when you put in your bench unit, you're going against Bobby Portis, and you let him go 28 and 16 on 66%. Awful. And I don't understand with Lawrence Frank. This has been game after game, time after time, and we still not have picked up a backup 4. We need one. We need one. It's not even a discussion anymore. We need one. It's just not even a discussion anymore. We're losing too many games because we don't have one position with a bench unit. Too many games. LeBron, Karl Anthony Towns. Now we have Bobby Portis murdering our bench unit. Just scoring like there's no tomorrow because there is not a 4 that can guard them at all on that bench unit, at all. And if I can see it and I don't get paid at all, I'm a school teacher, then how are you getting paid millions and you can't see that and we're not doing nothing about it? So my takeaways from this, man, we're not getting no top 3 seed. All Clipper fans, we might as well just go ahead and let that go. That's not going to happen for us. We have the 12th hardest remaining schedule. We're not getting a top 3 seed. That's just not going to happen. We're going to give up too many games because we're not trying, because Paul George and Kawhi have a bad, or James Harden have a bad shooting night, we're going to give up too many games to where we're not going to be able to catch that top 3 seed. It's just not going to happen. Not with a hard schedule, no. And we're not an elite team. I can say that with confidence tonight. We're not an elite team. When the Clippers try and they give you 100% effort, we're so talented that when we try, we can beat almost anybody in the league. But the thing is, we're an older team, and we're a team that has a very glaring weakness on that bench unit. So if you're not going to give effort every night, you're an older team, you got dudes making 40 mil, right? You're not a young team like a little OKC where them dudes are fighting every night. You know what I mean? Because they're young. They want to run. They want to win every game if they can. There's going to be nights like tonight where the Clippers, another team could want it more and just take it from you. You're not trying to beat this team with all you can. And part of that is being old, and part of that is just being lazy, and so we're just not, I wouldn't call us an elite team. Elite teams can go in and night out and just out execute you. Even if they don't have it going shooting wise, they can find a way to out execute you. And the Clippers, as of late, they have not been out executing anybody. And Kawhi got off of that, 40, 50, 90, whatever you want to call it, that MVP Kawhi that he was on, that's over with. He's cold, he's struggling. He has games where he's hot and games where he's not. So we're not elite, but I don't lose all hope with this team. I don't lose all hope because, like I said, in the playoffs, you would expect and you would hope that they try, right? And if the Clippers try, then you're going to get, we have so much talent. If they really give you effort on defense and they really, and especially once you get to the playoffs and those bench minutes shrink, right? And you get more starter minutes than bench minutes, like significantly, then you're going to have less of that horrible defensive bench unit. And you're going to have more of Kawhi and Paul George and James Harden on the floor together. And when they're trying, when they're giving all of their effort, then they're going to look great and they're going to win games. You're not going to have games where Dame plays the whole second half, but Kawhi wouldn't, or something like that, where you end up losing the game off of stuff like that. You're going to have the starters out there as long as they need to be to win those games because it's the playoffs. So I don't lose all hope. The Clippers still, in my opinion, my humble opinion, they could still win a championship, but I wouldn't call us an elite team. We're a contender, but it's just off of talent. And we're going to have to see now, if we can turn on or turn things off in the playoffs. I'm done with the regular season. I don't have any confidence. Like, we can go into the game, we could win it or we could lose it. At this point, it's just finding out our weaknesses and trying to build on that, right? Build on that and find a solution so that way we get into the playoffs, we're not surprised with anything. We don't run into a matchup or a team where it's like, oh, they're doing this and we can't score, or they're doing this and now we can't stop them. Tonight should be a lesson learned. You don't go with Amir Coffey and Norman Powell in a small ball lineup against a great guard because you got 2 players on the floor that can't guard at all. So we just got a lesson learned and, we'll see. So this has been Coach D. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. Let me know, what you thought of the game and, let me know what you think. But I'm on to the next one. Y'all stay blessed.